Alright, so I'm going to talk about this this Halloween party I went to the other day, because it was exactly what you'd expect, and it feels like it's been ages since I've sat down to make a video. I mean, it is what it is. It just feels very weird to be back here making a video. I've not been in a state to be making videos. I'm going down, but whatever, we'll push on. So I got invited to this Halloween party by Chang. My Chang roommate just didn't come. My Jesse Pinkman roommate didn't come with us. We knocked on his door, but he said he was too tired to come, which is fine by me, to be honest. The other day I was in the kitchen, and he came in wearing like a Halloween outfit, and it scared the shit out of me. He was wearing like a Spider-Man costume, and he had like a pig mask on. I guess he was meant to be like Spider Pig or some shit, but it really fucking freaked me out. And there was another thing he did in the kitchen that kind of made me annoyed. So I had like a bunch of eggs and like a carton of milk in the fridge, and I woke up one day and Chang messaged in the group chat, and he was like, "Oh hey, there's a bunch of milk spilled on the floor," and I was like, I thought it was mine because I'm the only one who really has milk in there. So I went in and it was all spilled, and there were a bunch of eggs broken as well that had fallen out, and someone had like put them back in, obviously, and I cleaned it all up. And then Jesse messaged, and he was like, "Yeah, that was me, my bad, sorry," or whatever. It's like you can tell me, and I lost a whole carton of milk and a bunch of eggs to it, and it's like, you can tell me when it happens right away, because I had to pull the whole fridge out to clean it up, and it's like, you probably should have cleaned it up yourself, but if not, at least tell me, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see where Chang's coming from. He's kind of annoying, and I was, to be honest, kind of fine he's not there. He wasn't there, I should say. But yeah, obviously we had to pick out our outfits, and Chang said he was going to go as Kim Jong-un and like spike his hair up and stuff. I didn't really think Kim Jong-un had spiky hair. I thought he just like rolled it back or whatever, but what the fuck do I know? But in the end he didn't even do that. He came as Bob Ross, and he had like a checkered shirt on and like a big puffy wig, and he was meant to have like an easel, not an easel, but like those like things painters hold in their hand, like a palette and a paintbrush to add to the outfit, I guess. But he didn't have it. But he said, "Oh, I have a friend who's coming who's going to bring this shit." So I was like, "Fine, whatever." I myself just came as like a soldier. Like I put like a old uniform on that I own. I might make a video about that on my history channel actually. And I know I have a history channel. I know I need to upload to it. Believe it or not, the video I am working on it. I'm about halfway done. If you're subscribed to that channel, don't view it as like a history channel to watch. It's just a cope for me. It's just I work on that video whenever I have nothing else to do. That's all it is. So it's not going to be regular uploads like it is on this channel, even though I barely fucking managed to make regular uploads on this channel. But I'm just saying. But yeah, I had this soldier's outfit on, and we went out to drink at a bar first. And so before we went down into town, we were at this bar, and the first thing I noticed is like other people's costumes. The thing about outfits on Halloween is it's just an opportunity for girls to show off their their assets. They have their arse hanging out, their tits hanging out, whatever. Even Chang said when we were going into this bar, he was like, "Oh, everyone's dressed. All the girls are just dressed in slutty outfits." And it's true. There's no effort put into it. There's no like point. And the guys' outfits are usually just like, they're just Gestamaxing. And the brutal thing that I saw everywhere that night, not so much at this bar, but as we went into town, was guys dressed like in skirts and stuff and dresses. And it's like, it's not like a trans thing. I don't know, maybe it is like a repressed thing, but it's Gestamaxing. They're trying to be funny. And I talked to multiple men that had like makeup on and wigs and a skirt and stuff, and it looked ridiculous, even in like the darkness of the nightclub when I was drunk. But anyway, so yeah, we had a drink at this bar, and some of the guys were basically borderline naked as well. They were dressed like Greek gods, I guess. They had like togas on, but and they were really fat as well, and their like moobs were hanging out the side of their toga, and as they walked around it was just flapping around. And it's kind of, you realise how like gross fat, like no offense or whatever, but you realise how gross fat people are when you see them walking around without any clothes on in real life, because we all know what a fat person looks like, but we don't usually see them without clothes on, or in like a revealing thing like that. Yeah, and a bunch of people were dressed up for like the Barbie movie as well, which is still a thing apparently. But I mean, whatever. Anyway, we went to buy cigarettes after that, because Chang said he needed some cigarettes and he forgot some, so whatever. I mean, I don't really smoke, but it was more for him. So yeah, we walked past this we walked down into town to find one of those shops that will sell cigarettes, even like fairly late at night, because it was dark by the time we went out. And we walked past this like church in town, and there were a bunch of people sat on the wall, and there was one girl with her tits actually hanging out, like her nipple was basically out. And it's just an opportunity. Like I said, it's just an opportunity. It's Halloween is a good opportunity for people to show off their assets. So for girls, it's like they're showing off what they have to offer. They're showing off their body. For guys, if they're chads, they'll be wearing something like showing off their muscles or showing off their good looks. If not, they'll try and Gestamax because that's all they have to offer. So they'll be saying, "Hey, look at me! Look how funny I am!" It is what it is. I mean, I'm not obviously participating in it. Like I've said, I've completely given up on that kind of thing. Like I didn't don't think about me going out on this night thinking, "Oh, I've got to find a girl. I've got to go out here and meet someone." Like no, that was not even in my. That wasn't even the last thing on my mind. It wasn't in my mind at all. So yeah. Anyway, we met up with Chang's friend. It turns out his friend was a girl. Apparently she's a lesbian according to him, and they met up. It was just very awkward. I can't really say like how or why. I don't know. It just like obviously I felt like I didn't want to be there. Like even though she was a lesbian, I felt like as soon as the girl showed up, I was instantly ditched. Which I mean, what would I expect, right? But I just felt like a huge third wheel somehow, even though they're not even dating. I just felt like unwanted, and I'd talk and stuff, and obviously just get ignored all the time, and yeah, you know how it goes, right? Anyway, we went into this like pub. It was like an actual proper pub. It's where most people were, and first of all, there were way too many fucking people in here. Way too many people. You could not walk side to side. It took 20 minutes to order anything. It was shit. I don't know how people enjoy those things. They went off. Chang and his lesbian friend went off to dance, and it's like I don't even know how you can dance in there because there's no movement. But yeah, I mean I don't dance. That's not my thing. But anyway, I was at this bar ordering my drinks, and this guy came up to me, and he was like spurking out about my outfit. He was like, "That's so cool, man. You're the only one who's putting the effort in." And I was like, "I appreciate." He looked like 20 years older than everyone else there. Everyone else there was a student, and this guy looked like 40, I think. But he was like, "That's so cool, man. You put in the effort." And I was just like, "Thank you." But he was obviously really drunk. He kept saying the same shit over and over again. And I was like, "It's cool, man. Thank you." I was just trying to get out there. And then a bunch of students came up to me, and they were like, basically making fun of my outfit, but not like in a more bantery way. But it wasn't like, it didn't upset me. It was just fucking annoying. It's just like, get out of my way. Like I was trying to stay behind Chang because I didn't want to lose them, and it's kind of hard to lose him because he's so tall. But even in the bar, it's like dark. There's like smoke everywhere. There's like the flashing lights. It's easy to lose people. So I was trying to follow him, and these guys like swarmed around me, and they were like talking about my outfit and shit. And it's like it was kind of a mistake to wear that. Cause the thing is, it was a good outfit as well. If I ever show it off on my history channel, you'll see what I mean. It's a very it's not like some tacky outfit. Like it looks very good. Well, half of it is like authentic anyway. But these guys were swarming around me and just like fucking annoying, talking about shit. And in the end, I lost Chang, so I just went and sat in the corner on my own. I just like put my arm over the seat rest, and I just fucking sat there, right at the entrance, so I could see them if they came out, and I just had to wait for them. Like that's so brutal. Like I just have to wait for the people to actually have fun before I leave, and it was just like whatever. It was pretty shit. But yeah, when we got out, we sat down to have like a drink and another. I know we're going from place to place, but yeah, I don't know. It's just the way they wanted to do things. I don't know. But we sat down in like a quiet place to have a drink. And basically Chang mentioned this older woman. Now this wasn't something I mentioned on my channel because this happened to me a few weeks ago, but it was actually something kind of good, well, relatively speaking, something good that happened to me. And me and Chang had gone out this night, and we met this older woman, like she's like 40 something, like 47 I think, and she was obviously really drunk, but she was like obviously flirting with us, and I thought, hey, this is, it's a thing, it's something, like granted she could be my mum, and she was a mum. She had showed me like pictures of her kids and stuff while she was flirting with us, but she was obviously really drunk, so I was like, it was whatever. Anyway, we were talking in there in this like quieter place, and Chang was talking to this lesbian, and he talked about her, and he was like, oh yeah, and I went into the bathroom, I saw her like snort a line of coke or some shit like that. And it's like great, and he was like, that was the only reason. She was like really horny, and I was like, I felt like somewhat accomplished with that. I was like, I finally, granted it's not like I know like MILF is a thing, but it's not like most people would want that. But it's something, right? But no, it turns out not. She was under the influence of drugs and drunk and shit, so it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I didn't mention it. Cause the thing is, it's always too good to be true. If I ever mention something good happening to me on my channel, it's always invalidated. Like that girl I was talking to, and then she like fucking rejected me brutally in real life. Only if like a month ago or 2 months. It's crazy that's been like 2 months already, or a month or so. It doesn't feel that long. But yeah, I don't know, it was just brutal. And then they were talking about Jesse again, and the kind of civil war sort of thing that's going on in my apartments, and Cheng was like, oh yeah, he's just autistic, he doesn't stop talking, all this shit, and I was just like, yeah. I'm starting to see where he's coming from. I didn't tell him about the fridge thing, because it's like, there's no reason to add fuel to the fire. I'm not that kind of person, you know, like, I just don't care, you know. I was just sitting there thinking like, this has been a fucking waste of a night, but whatever, you know. We haven't even been to the party yet, so it's like, it could, well, I wasn't thinking it could turn around, you know. I knew it wasn't going to, but you know, you could say that. Anyway, we went to this nightclub. It was just down the road. We walked up there, and it took ages to get inside because there was so many fucking people. You know, there's so many people. This was like the main party night. Obviously, it hasn't been like Halloween yet. I guess it might be Halloween depending on when I upload this, but this was like a few days ago. This was like on the 27th of October, I think, maybe a bit before. But for whatever reason, this was the main night. This was the main like night people were going to go out. Like when Chang messaged me, he was like, oh, you know, do you want to come out? Because it's like the main Halloween night tonight to party. And I was like, fine, whatever. Like, you'd think that would be Halloween itself, but I guess not. But yeah, because of that, there were so many people, it took us ages to get in. At this point, it was like 1:45, and according to this lesbian girl, this girl's been here at the university for like 3 years apparently. I don't know why she's hanging out with us, but she basically was like, oh, I know the place and it closes at 1 a.m. Like, you can't get into the party after 1 a.m. The doors close or whatever. So that's great. We had like 15 minutes to get in. There were loads of people. There was this kid like Jestamaxing as a penguin outside. He had like a giant surfboard, and he was like pretending to be from that movie. I don't know what the fucking movie. It's like the documentary movie where the penguin, like, it's like a mock documentary about a penguin, and he kept like repeating lines from the movie outside and like going up to people and saying this shit. And he was so short as well. It was so brutal. He must have been like 5'4", 5'5", I think. In this like he looked like an actual penguin waddling around outside. And it was just so brutal to see. And he was like going up and down the line trying to get in and stuff, and it wasn't happening, you know. But yeah, you know, when we got in, we went and queued for drinks. And if it was busy in the pub, it was like you couldn't even move in the nightclub. Like, it's a lot darker in there. Yeah, it's a lot darker in there. A lot more lights. A lot of smoke machines and shit for some fucking reason. And I tell you, at the bar, it was like a feeding trough, where you see all those pigs like go and eat the slop from the thing. That's what it was like. Just people getting slop in drink form, you know. They're all queuing up, and the bar was all wet as well. It was disgusting. Like, you could see it even, and I wasn't drunk at all. Like, I'd had a bit to drink, but I wasn't drunk because I just didn't. I don't know why it took us too long. Like, we were waiting for this girl for ages. And by the way, this girl came as a cheerleader, like no effort at all. And even then, she had like a jumper on the whole time, so you couldn't even see it. And she didn't even bring the painting stuff for Chang. She was like, oh, I forgot, or some shit, I don't know. And the first thing she did when we met her, she took like a huge rip out of her vape. And yeah, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. It just like, no one cared, you know. All the outfits were shit. Most people weren't even like wearing an outfit, which is like fine, I guess. But it's like the people who are, just put in some fucking effort, you know. But obviously, like, that's not what it is. It's not, you know, you're not there to dress up. It's not a fucking cosplay convention. People aren't there to put in actual effort to make something, you know, good. People are there to fuck, basically, and it's just a means to an end. That's all it is to these people. Everything is a means to an end to fuck. But yeah, we were queuing up for drinks, and yes, like I said, still too many people. The women were all getting served first. I must have been standing there for, like, no exaggeration, like half an hour. Like, seriously, not exaggerating at all. I was standing there for so fucking long. Chang got served first because he's taller, even though we got in the line at the exact same time. And I must have seen like multiple girls like come in the line after me and get served first. This happened at the pizza place too. The other day I was ordering a pizza in person at this pizza place, and I went in and like I stood there for like 15 minutes and no one came up to me. And I don't want to be difficult, you know. I've worked in retail. I've done that shit. I know it's fucking horrible, so I'm not going to be there like, hey, come over here, let's take my order, whatever. But they came over, they were like, oh, can you give us 10 minutes? I was like, yeah, fine. This woman comes in, immediately gets served before me, and I was just sitting there for ages. And even after they'd served her, they still didn't serve me, so I just left. I was just like, fuck me. Because I'm so non-confrontational as well. Like, I'm not going to go up to them and be like, hey, take my order or whatever shit. And at this bar, I'm not going to, like, if someone pushes in, like, girls were pushing in, guys were pushing in, like, clearly, like, I know it sounds, like, pathetic, like, it sounds like a little kid, like, hey, you're pushing in the line or whatever, but they were doing it. And, like, if that happened to Chad, he'd be like, hey, step back, or they wouldn't have even done it in the first place. Because I'm kind of short and not good looking and shit, I get shoved around, and I'm non-confrontational. I don't stick up for myself, so it happens. It happens. But I got my drink, and we went to the smoking area because this lesbian girl who he was with apparently had, like, beef with someone or something pathetic like that. How are you going to be in your 3rd year of university and have beef with people? It's just ridiculous. And this Bergie guy was there again in the smoking area. So the smoking area is like this part of the nightclub, like round the back, and people like congregate there to smoke. And so this Bergie guy who I met at the pub was there, and he was like, hey, it's you again, hey, oh my god, you're out. And he was like so drunk, he kept saying the same shit to me again, and they had the most like retarded takes as well. They were just talking about stupid shit, like about my outfit, like and at the bar as well there were some dumb people. Like, this guy pulled up to me, like, I don't know what this guy's deal was. He had like a dress on, he had like blue like hair, I guess it was a wig and like makeup and shit, I don't know what he was, but he was like talking to me about my uniform, and I was like, please don't talk to me. But that's what I was thinking in my head. Obviously I didn't say that shit, but this guy was like, my brother studied history, I know history, let me guess, that is a German coat, a British helmet, and American belt. And I was like, and my Chang roommate was really concerned when we went out with my outfit that everyone was going to think I'm like a Nazi or some shit. And I did have a bunch of people coming up to me all night going, Heil Hitler and shit, like just people saying that to me, or like it wasn't like aggressive, people liked it. So yeah, I don't know, but these guys he was talking about this, and it's, I wanted to say like, no, it's not. When he said that, he was like, a British helmet, German coat, and this my Chang guy stepped in and he was like, yeah, it's all British, yeah, you got it exactly right, and some shit. And it's just like, I don't know what I would expect. Like I don't expect these people to be experts. I'm not going to sit there and be like, actually, but it's just like annoying when people, when people think they know everything, people think they're smart, but they're not. Like I heard somewhere that it's like this curve, I don't know what it's called, it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think, and it's like the more people know, the less they think they know, up to a certain point. So you guys probably have heard of it, but like if people gain like a little bit of knowledge about something, they think they're really smart, but then they gain more knowledge and they realize they're not. And you basically, like, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, and you kind of become humbled by knowledge. And that's how you should be, I think. And it goes for the black pill as well. Like, people who have never even heard of the black pill learn a little bit about it, and straight away they dismiss it, and they're like, oh, it's rubbish, it's a load of bullshit, and it's like, well, maybe you should do a bit more research before you dismiss it. Maybe you should do a bit more research before you dismiss it, But yeah, anyway, but this guy was spurging out, and there was another guy next to him dressed as like Indiana Jones, I guess. He was kind of chubby. He had these like little round glasses on his head. I used to have glasses like that as well, and everyone used to call me Harry Potter in my school and shit. Like one time I remember I came in and these kids ran out and they were like pretending to be on broomsticks, and they like ran around me in circles singing the song or whatever, like the theme song of Harry Potter. But yeah, this guy had these little glasses on his nose. And he was pretty chubby. His legs were kind of like, when fat people have really thick legs, because I guess they have to be strong to hold them up, but he had these like logs under him, and he was just sitting there, well, he was just standing there, and they were both smoking. I mean, it is the smoking area, but Chang was like talking to them and shit, and this Indiana Jones kid will come up later. He's a fairly important kid. But yeah, we were just looking for this lesbian because she said, oh, I'm going to the smoking room to confront this person. I don't know what the fuck, like, do you really care what the beef was between these people? We found her, or Chang found her, and they went onto the dance floor. And like I said, like, I don't dance, like, I really am not good at dancing, but, and what's the point anyway? It's all a ritual, it's all a sex ritual, that's all it is. It's a courtship ritual for these people. But yeah, we were just kind of dancing around and shit. and I ended up going outside after like 5 minutes, and I had my uniform on as well, and I had like a huge helmet on my head. It was pretty difficult to be dancing. I think I hit a couple of people in the head. I did take some footage in the party, but it's really shit. I'm not going to put it in the video because it's like you can't even tell what's going on. But the music's so loud, so you cannot hear anyone speak at all. So in the end, I went outside. I was like, "Fuck, this is shit. Dude, this is terrible." I regretted even going out that night, to be honest. So I went out of the club, and obviously, like, once you go out at that time, you can't get back in. So I just had to wait outside. There was like a food truck outside. I ordered like 4 burgers. I must have, and they were like really sloppy, greasy, shit from this like fast food. Like, it's not even like fast food. It was just like a slop truck that pulled up outside this party, but I had fuck all else to do, right? And there were like a bunch of scumbag incidents after that. Like, the police pulled up because someone's drink apparently got spiked. There's like as they approached 3 a.m, because 3 a.m is supposedly the time it closes, even though it like was open way past then. But as it approached 3 a.m, a bunch of people started to leave. This girl came out and she was like drinking and throwing up like in between the things. So she would take a swig, and then she would like projectile vomit it out and then take another swig. It's like something from Rome or something, when they'd eat that shit and then throw up or whatever. It's like, what are you doing? Like, maybe you think at the point you're throwing up as you're drinking, that's time to stop. What the fuck do I know, though? An ambulance pulled up. Someone got wheeled into that. This woman like collapsed as she came out. Like, a different woman walked out the club and just fell flat on her face. And the bouncers are so fucking annoying as well, because I was waiting for for Chang to come out, because another thing, I'd lost my key. So like, I had like a key card to get into my apartment, and I'd lost it, so I had to like go home with him and have him like let me back in. But so I couldn't just go home. I had to wait there, because believe me, I would have just walked home on my own if it hadn't been for that. But I had to wait for him. But yeah, and I was like looking inside to see if I could see them come out, and then these bouncers were there, and they're like, "What you doing, mate? What you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just waiting for," and they were like, "Yeah, no, you can't be on the steps." But the girls come out collapsing, doing all this stupid shit, and they're like, "There, it's okay, come with me," and all this shit. It's like everything else in life. It's just another example of, it's not even worth talking about really, because who gives a fuck anymore? It's the same shit. It's all the same shit. Like, a sub 5 gets treated unfairly. You get treated worse than a woman. Who'd have thought? Who'd have seen that coming? But yeah, I was just sitting outside here in by this alley by the party, just fucking sitting there waiting for these people. And this Indiana Jones guy came out. This guy dressed up like this explorer came out. This fat kid, and he kind of sat with me, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I came out with my with like some club I'm in, like 10 people, and they all left me." And I was like, "I feel that, man. I've been there before." So I said like, "Hey, come, sit with me or whatever, and we'll like just chill." And we ended up sitting there for like 2 hours, because we had to wait for so fucking long for these people to come out. He wasn't even waiting for anyone. He was just talking to me, but I was waiting for Chang. And we actually ended up having a very interesting discussion about the black pill, like a very like deep discussion about it, and like a very honest one as well. Like a very down to earth discussion about it. Like, he was talking about like how people were only coming up to him because he had a packet of fags. Like, he had this packet with like a full packet of cigarettes, and people were coming up to him and like taking them from him because he was like offering them to people. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've got my last 2 here," and we smoked them together. But he was like, "Yeah, as soon as I stopped giving them out to people weren't interested in talking to me or hanging out with me." He was like, "Yeah, word must have got around that the Jumanji kid is hanging out. Word must have got out that the Indiana Jones kid is handing out cigarettes." And I thought in my head, like, that's probably not what they're calling you, but yeah, and it reminded me of this time in school when I'd like to make this a story time, but it's not really long enough for a full story time. But basically, me and my friends ordered like a pizza to school, and people who had never even talked to me were coming up to me acting like they're my friend and shit. They're like, "Oh hey, what's up, Corey?" and shit. And it's like, I don't fucking know you, I don't know you. And like, I was kind of jaded at that time. Like, I wasn't like as black-pilled or as cynical as I am now, but I wasn't like naive, and I knew these people didn't actually like me. They were just trying to get some pizza off me. So I basically, you know, politely enough, I told them to fuck off, you know, and I don't regret doing that. But yeah, it's like, it's the exact same shit. It's like, I used to buy people shit in school when I like started high school. I used to buy people food from the cafeteria hoping they'd like me. I used to like bring in books. I think I've talked about this, but like we had this like silent reading time in English, like for 5 or 10 minutes before every lesson. We'd have to read a book, and like a bunch of these stupid kids didn't bring in books and shit, so I brought in, like, I had all of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, and I just brought them all in and lended them out to people, and people were like, oh, thank you, yes, Corey, yes, and like I was really popular for the English lesson. First of all, I got in trouble for doing that shit. I don't know why, because I mean, they're reading a book, I don't know why it matters, but you know, as soon as I stopped doing that shit, because I wasn't allowed to, and like obviously the class ended, the year ended and stuff, you know, none of these people talked to me, none of them talked to me outside classes, none of them, you know, ever said anything, you know, and it's just like, you're completely expendable to these fucking people, you know. Same with this kid, he had his fags and he was giving them out. As soon as they got what they wanted from him, they were gone, you know. He didn't even know the other guy, the guy who was standing next to him in the smoking area, spurging out about my outfit. He was like, oh, that's so cool, oh my god, like, he didn't even know him. He was just hanging around him for the cigarettes, probably, or because he has no one else to hang out with, most likely, because they're both sub-5s, you know, or like normies, basically. This kid was definitely sub-5 just because he was so fat. I reckon if he wasn't, you know, if he lost the weight, he'd be fine. He'd be like just true neutral normie. But yeah, we were talking about this, and we were talking about the girls and stuff, and he was like, it's not, you know, he was like talking about how they just come here, they pick a guy, and they just go home and shit, and he was like, yeah, you have to be really good to compete here, you have to be like the top, like 10% of guys or whatever. And it's like, it was like he was black-pilled without knowing what the black pill was, and I was just talking to him about that shit, and I was like, so you think it's over for you? And he was like, I don't know if it's over, but he, you know, apparently he was like, oh, you know, I've been there with love, I've been there, done that, and it's like, I have a hard time believing that, to be honest. But you know, I don't know his story, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him, but he was like just talking about this shit, and that was the best part of my night, probably, just talking to this guy. I don't even know his name. Oh yeah, I found out he does my major as well, because my major is pretty popular at my university, like a lot of people do it. From what I can gather, it's like the most popular one, or one of them anyway. And he was talking about this this lecturer I had with an accent. I talked about this, but I had this lecture, and as soon as the teacher came in and she started speaking, like, you could not understand a fucking word she said. And this kid like asked me, oh, did you see her? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, man, as soon as I heard her start speaking, I knew I was going to fail this module. And like, it was good, it felt good to be vindicated, you know, because like, I hadn't actually ever heard anyone else say that, even though like I kind of knew people thought that. I felt kind of bad, because it's like, what if I'm the only person? But I know I'm not now. I know everyone thinks that, because he, like, I didn't even like mention it, he brought it up completely on his own, so that was good. That was good to hear. But I mean, I'm failing my fucking classes. I've missed 2 tests. Oh shit, man. Like, I tell you, I'm not going to get too much into this, because that's not the point of this video, but I'm probably going to get fucking kicked out of university, because yeah, it's not going too good. It's not going too good. But yeah, anyway, Chang came out after like fucking ages. This lesbian had gone home, so much for that. He came out. He had a bunch of other people around him. I had no fucking idea who these people were. I think we met them in the line getting into the club, but whatever. I think they were like older years. They weren't like first years like us. But we queued up at this food truck again because they wanted to buy some shit. And there was this like fat girl in the line, and she started talking to Chang, and she was like, I recognise you guys. And at first I didn't know where she was from, but then I recognised her. She was the this fat girl that Jesse had ended up like having like fucking basically, I don't know exactly what they did, but she was like talking to him and shit, and they had like a thing going, and she'd been in our like kitchen and stuff, and Chang had made fun of her, like to me, like kind of subtly, he'd like made fun of how she was fat, and like I realised who it was, so I was like, oh, it's that the girl? And then I was gonna say something that, you know, you shouldn't say to their fucking face. And then Chang was like, no. And then this guy was like, what? Say what? Say what? Say what? And it's just like, I don't, like, why the fuck did I go to this party, dude? Like, it was just so pointless. It was such a complete fucking waste of time. Like, I tell you, the real reason I wanted to go is just to wear my uniform. To wear my costume, honestly. Because, like, if people hadn't been in uniform, it would have been even worse. It would have been an even worse night. It was just, like, it was really, really shit, you know? Like, for a long time, I had this kind of, like, fear of missing out on these things. Now I realise there's nothing going on there for me. And, you know, unless you're Chad, there's nothing going on there for you either, in all honesty. But these parties would like fuck me up, because usually I'd go out, I'd get really drunk. Like Chang would encourage me to. He'd be like, "Oh, you gotta go shit faced, man," and it would like fuck me over for the next few days because I wouldn't be able to like study or anything. That's probably why I'm failing. But yeah, like now I'm probably not gonna go out. I know I always say that in my fucking videos, but this was like a special occasion. I feel like 'cause it was Halloween. I'm probably not gonna go out to like a party like this again. Like I stopped going to the normie ones, the way they just dress up in like normal clothes and shit. Because there's just no point going. There's just no point going. But yeah, that's pretty much it.